Hi there, it's Nicole from Mama Elephant with a card featuring the new Wild Meadow and Friendship Sentiments stamp sets. These are new for January 2019. And the Wild Meadow is this gorgeous floral stamp set that has two different borders. I'm using the same one for my card here. I've stamped it twice. But it has two beautiful borders that you can use in so many different ways. And then the Friendship Sentiments has a whole bunch of friend type greetings that are so amazing for lots and lots of friendship cards. I absolutely love it. I did start with my friendship greeting that I stamped right in the middle of a piece of 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch Bristol smooth cardstock, and I am stamping the border, the floral border, not the leafy border, the more floral border from Wild Meadow with VersaFine ONYX black ink. And then I'm going to flip that around and stamp it again, framing up that Friendship Sentiments greeting. This is basically a 1-layer panel card. Now, I almost made a huge error there. VersaFine ONYX black ink tends to stay wet for quite a while. It's a pigment-based ink. It works great for watercoloring and water-based markers like the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. But if you color like I do, and I tend to lay my hand down on the table, you can smear that. So I'm just using a scrap piece of paper. In fact, the scrap piece of paper that I use to clean off the tip of my lighter markers, and I am covering up the area that my hand is resting on so that I don't smear my background while I color. Both borders are going to be colored exactly the same. I have listed the colors of Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers I'm using across the bottom of the screen throughout the coloring process so that you can see exactly what I used to color each area of these beautiful, beautiful borders. I absolutely love these. And while it is a very full border, it actually doesn't take quite as long as you might think to color, especially with these Zig markers. I think it probably definitely depends on the coloring medium. Colored pencils would probably take a little bit longer, Copics a little bit longer, but I think you could, color this as easy or as complicated and detailed as you want. I definitely went the little bit more simple route. I went for super bright and colorful. We have reached the part of the winter season for us here where I live, where I'm longing for some color and flowers. And so this was kind of my little tribute to spring and hoping for spring soon, even though I know it's a ways off. But I think it's just such a bright, colorful, happy card, which is definitely right down my alley. I kind of think of it as a rainbow type of coloring with my floral border here, even though it's not in rainbow order. I tried to hit on all rainbow colors, pink, red, orange, yellow, obviously all that beautiful green, blue, and purple. And I just scattered them throughout and just tried to make it an even mix of color. With my greens, I did 2 color combinations with 3 markers. So in some of the lighter leaves are light green and yellow green, which gives you that little bit more limey feel. And then the deeper grass green leaves are green and light green. So I used the light green throughout. I just mixed up whether I went lighter by using yellow green or darker with the green marker. Kind of limits then how many markers you actually need. Another key thing to note, I used pretty much all my favorite Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers. Something that I do have on my blog, and I have shared this in a video before, get asked a lot, what are my favorite colors? And I do have a post for that. And this is most of them right here. These are the color combinations I find myself reaching for over and over again. Just very versatile, and if you like lots of color like I like lots of color, these all work great. Now I did finish the first half of my panel. Some of it was done off screen, and I'm just finishing then the second half so that you can see the coloring of the rest of this. Some of it might overlap. You might have seen me color this a minute ago, but just wanted to finish off the rest of this on screen, creating an orange flower here, and then finishing off all the greenery, all these fun little areas. Now, it would be beautiful left as is, meaning color this all in, leave it as is, put this on a card base, and you're ready to go. However, I, for whatever reason, really love to outline my images like this with a light blue marker of some sort. I've used lots of different ones. Today we're going to use the light blue and the blender pen. Many times in the past, in fact, this is the first time I've done it with the blender, I have used a water brush pen that's got water in it, or a small paintbrush dipped in water, because these do work with water and you can kind of watercolor with these. However, it tends to make colors run, and it can be a little messy. I still love the technique, especially when I am embossing the area and coloring it in with the markers. But when I'm stamping with a black ink and coloring in just the outline images, sometimes it really makes the color run. The blender have a little bit more control because it's not water running out of a water brush pen. It could still pull the color out because it is a blender pen and these are water-based markers, but so much more control. I just love that Zig has this blender pen because I think it works amazing. We're going to outline that top border area and kind of all the little areas down in between with a blue marker and blend it out just a teeny tiny little bit, and it's really going to make the borders pop. So on the left side, you can see I've already done that on the left, and it's very, very light. I did not want it to be super dark, and it's really quick. I'm just going around the edge, making sure I clean off the tip of my marker if I accidentally pick up some color. I know I picked up a little bit of green, I picked up a little blue. If you pick up red, you want to get that cleaned off right away because that is just going to smear out all over the place. But I want to outline this whole thing and then take my blender pen and just blend out that harsh blue line. It's not even all that harsh. If you go in pretty detailed, maybe a little bit more straight up and down with your marker than what I'm doing with just the very tip, you probably wouldn't even have to do that. I just wanted to soften the edge with the tip of my blender pen, soften the edge of that blue outline, but it really makes this beautiful floral border pop off the page. Gorgeous as is. Like I said, you could totally take this now, put it on a side fold card base, write a message on the inside of your card, stick it in an envelope, and mail it. I am going to add a few finishing details, very, very simple and very, very few, because I really want the beautiful floral design and sentiment to be the star of the show. So I don't want to overpower that. Let's go ahead and adhere this to our card base with some nice strong adhesive. And then there is a great, or several, I guess there's 3 different greetings in the Wild Meadow that kind of look like a label maker. And there's happy everything with love and to my beautiful friend. Well, because I'm using the friend greeting, I decided to use to my beautiful friend, and I'm stamping that with the black VersaFine ink. I probably should have put it in my stamp positioner so I didn't have to stamp it multiple times. I didn't. I stamped it with my acrylic block, and then I wanted to trim it out, and I started to trim it with my trimmer and did not like that because I want a little white border all the way around. I think it'll just help it maybe stand out a little bit more. So what I ended up doing was stamping it again and then taking some long scissors, these are some Tim Holtz scissors, and trimming this out, leaving a thin little white border. Totally not perfect, but I like this a lot. And then I'm gonna pop this up with foam adhesive right there over the florals, just kind of up above the other stamped sentiment we've already added. I love these foam adhesive strips. They're really thin and they work great for thin little sentiments. So that's where that's going to go. Before I secure that to my card, however, I did want to add a little bit of glitter, and so I thought it would be easier to do that before I add this because I don't want the glitter sticking to the foam adhesive. So I'm going to just take my glossy accents, and it has a fine tip applicator on it, and add just a tiny touch of that to some of the flowers. Not all, just a few on both sides of the border. And then I'm sprinkling on some Prisma glitter. I'm going to flip my panel around and do that on the other side as well. I love the little addition of glitter. I think especially with a mostly flat card, anything you can do to dress it up and really make it stand out is just a fantastic idea. So in this case, I added glitter. I did not want it to be overpowering glitter. So like I said, I only kept it to 3 blooms per border, so 6 flowers total. And then I'm going to take some Nouveau Crystal Drops in Morning Dew, which has long been one of my favorites. It doesn't really have color to it, but it's not completely clear. It looks like dewdrops. And that's what I love about it. I use it with floral cards a lot because it does dry into these little translucent droplets that look like morning dew. And I'm going to scatter those throughout my card as well. Some here and there, some kind of around the floral border, some actually on top of the flowers. Just really depends. I didn't want to go overboard with these either, so I kind of kept these to a minimum as well, but I love the addition of some Nouveau Crystal Drops. Now, I do want to mention the Prisma glitter kind of can get everywhere. So if you are not a glitter person, you could always take a glitter pen. You could take Nouveau Crystal Drops and White Blizzard and use those instead and not make such a mess. I had glitter everywhere, and so I waited until this whole panel was completely dry, including these Nouveau Crystal Drops, so it was a little bit later. I waited a while, couple hours I'd say, and I took just kind of a wide flat paintbrush and brushed it all over the surface to remove any of those stray little glitter flakes that was all over my card. And by cleaning up any of those stray flakes, I really think it just brought out the beauty of the floral card without having all, like I said, that huge scattering of glitter flakes everywhere. So we will let this dry all the way, and my card featuring the Mama Elephant, Wild Meadow, and Friendship Sentiments stamp sets is all finished. Thank you guys so much for joining me today for this friend-themed card featuring new stamps from the Mama Elephant January 2019 release. The stamps I used for this card and all the other supplies are listed and linked below the video here on YouTube. Here are a couple more videos featuring Mama Elephant stamps and dies that you might be interested in. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.